My pitch on being a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience. I would advise printing out a copy of the Wallace Act 1 and Wallace Act 2, which can be found when clicking on the tab Insurance Reform Acts at dustinwallace.com.
I believe I'd be a perfect guest for the Joe Rogan Experience. I've been pushing this Wallace Act 1 and 2, which is going to basically restructure the entire insurance landscape in California. And beyond, maybe even beyond too. Basically, I would hope that you would read these two acts first. Wallace Act 1, which is an immediate change with the California Fair Plan, and Wallace Act 2, which is a long-term solution for the lenders taking over the insurance policies. I believe that what I'm doing is also very different than what normal people would do. I've been building houses my entire life. Got into home inspections because of COVID. My wife's an ER nurse, so COVID blows up. Now I can't build houses anymore. Our son was 4 months old, and I had to get into home inspections. So I inspected homes as a licensed general contractor. Put my license on these inspection reports, by the way, over 2,000 of them. And then I found there was a huge problem with when it came to cancellation notices going on for clients for roof conditions. So I believe I could be a perfect guest for you, Joe Rogan, because of what I'm trying to do. You can have famous people on your show, but I think honestly, if you give people a platform based on your fame to make change for the better, you will be a good Samaritan in a lot of ways. God will look down on you, not down, but look at you as a platform to get information across.
This presentation is about bridging the gap between the public sector, like the California Fair Plan, and private sector, which would be like farmers and state farms insurance.
The crisis that we're facing in California is so insane that I don't think most people understand. So I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of realtors, lenders, and even government officials. I've been in contact with every single congressperson in the state of California, and also been working exclusively with Mike McGuire, who's our state senator. I think in the next few months we'll see the largest housing crash in California we've ever seen because of California Fair Plan. So my thing is, what I brought up is how much are these homes actually worth if they're not uninsurable? Which means if they foreclose, that means the next offer would have to be a cash offer. That means all the equity that's been built up is not there anymore for the homeowner. What this also means is that the lender is stuck with that debt. So the insurance situation is causing a huge crisis on lenders. And my solutions also, my proposals will fix the problem. What I need is a platform to make it go through, which is the Joe Rogan Experience. Because there are millions of homeowners that are going to lose their insurance and lose their homes. And I know for a fact, Joe, you used to be a Californian. I know part of you still loves California. Well, I'm always going to be a Californian. I'm always going to be here to help fix our state. Many people will move or leave, and the ones who stay can bitch about it, but I'm going to fix the problem.
My birth story is a crazy story of its own. Not only that, my son has a more crazy birth story than me. And my wife as well, giving birth to our son, is a story in itself.
Also, what I want to talk about is that my birth story and my son's birth stories are the two craziest birth stories you can ever imagine. So I was born either on November 27th or 26th of 1985. The power went out, actually. And my parents had to go off the nurse's watch. So, and the cord was wrapped around my neck, so I wasn't breathing. So I have no idea if my birthday is either the 26th or 27th. The power went out to a massive thunder lightning storm. And then my son's birth story actually tops that. My son was born on New Year's Day, and he was born in the hospital that my wife works at. So it was an emergency C-section. So my wife was in labor for 40 hours to get the 2 centimeters diameter. Then what happened was the ER, which my wife's an ER nurse, and OR were going at it because she had a bleeding disorder we didn't know about. So she almost lost her life right in front of me to give birth to our son. This is why nurses are awesome, by the way. And this is, during COVID. So then what happened was, my wife gave birth, and I got to see something that people who not experienced seeing their wives give birth would not understand. But watch my wife get blood transfusions while breastfeeding for the first time without nipple guards. That's a strong woman. Men are weak. So I think that's, when someone watches a birth or experiences it, they understand how weak men really are compared to women when it comes to pain thresholds.
I am a direct descendant of Sir William Wallace.
I am a fighter, and that is fact. What also you don't know is I am actually related to William Wallace. My last name goes back many, many, many generations. My grandfather spent his entire life going over our family tree. So William Wallace is actually a relative of mine where I get that fighting spirit from. So I'm never going to stop on this insurance crisis. What I'm trying to tell you, Joe Rogan, is that if you give people the platform like myself to make change, you will feel much better with what you do with your podcast. I think you've been doing this for a lot of people who are successful, but there are people like me out there that could use a platform that, I'm not talking about 3-hour podcasts. It can be an hour, hour and a half to help get your name out there with a cause of what you're trying to fix and how you're doing it. And because I know this state of California is struggling, and I'm working my ass off on this. I've worked with tons of politicians, but what I need is that platform to push the public reception so more people can listen and be more active. Wallace Act 1 and 2 and even 3 will change real estate forever. And homeowners will be able to take the initiative of their home and fix things themselves.
My cousin's death and sacred connection to the band Tool.
I do also have a supernatural experience. I quit drinking alcohol during the eclipse. I had a subconscious connection with the higher up. Also, what I want to mention is that I have an interesting story about my cousin who passed away. He was 15 years old. He passed away on May 15th, 2001. May 15th, 1999. And he was the biggest Tool fan in the world. And he told me what song he would want to die to. And it was a song called Eulogy by Tool. And when the ambulance arrived, he did pass away to that song. Tool released their next album called Lateralis on May 15th, 2001. So anyways, he sent the letter before he died to Maynard, and he got a response back from Maynard, whether it was Maynard really or one of those people that work for Maynard to sign fan mail. But this is before Tool even got really famous, so could have been. Anyways, Tool released their next album exactly 2 years after the the Anima album, or not Anima, but 2 years after my cousin's death. So I placed these tool pens, on his grave. This literally just happened last week, and the other time was a month before. So I went back there, and I had a subconscious connection with the higher up, and it was guiding me to clean myself up and to take on these insurance initiatives as best as I can. And I think the best thing I can do for myself is to try to get on your show once. I'm not interested in fame. I'm interested in getting the story across of what needs to get done in California. Because if you consider me as being a guest on your show, you could possibly be helpful with fixing California. Because I know my insurance reforms will create a lot of jobs. It'll restructure the entire way homes are bought and sold. And it has to be done. So I would like to thank you, Joe Rogan, for taking your time. And I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe Rogan Experience, and I hope to hear from you soon.